Okay, so she had some time to dry, and the doors look pretty cool. You can see all the hardware on them, and we actually finished off section I of the instruction manual. So we're ready to move on to J. So let me get this in the shot for you. Nice. Check it out, man. Restart. Putting the planking on the bulkheads. First thing we got to do is we got to use some J1, and it looks like that these are going to follow the bulkheads. So we're going to put them in place, we're going to cut them, and we're going to file them so that this corner is gone where it's smooth up against the wall. Once that's finished, we're going to put the strips on in the middle of the ship on the sides. We do that for port and starboard. I don't have a pin pusher. I thought I did, but I guess I don't. So we got to use the hammer. We're going to put the planks on, we're going to cut them, and then you can see how we're going to start to put the planking on. So we got this piece that we got to do, and I actually have to soak this in some water, and we're going to use the iron, and we're going to kind of bend it or warp it just enough so it fits into place. And you can see we're going to put some more planking on, and we actually have to create the opening now in the top where we'll be able to see into the deck. Nice. So this is part J, so let's get right to it. Show you my notes. This is section 10, and we got the part 10, section J, and we're going to cut the pieces, the inside of the bulwarks. We're going to plank the strips into the centers of the sides. We're going to put this plate on. We got to use the iron to warp it just so it'll fit into place, and then we'll put the planking on, and we'll actually create the opening where you can see in on the lower deck. So this is going to be fun. She's really going to start to come alive. So let's get the piece now. So, and again, we're going to follow. It's going to go up against the bulkheads. So let's start on this side. We'll do it right here on this one. So that's just about perfect. So I'm going to go down the line. Make sure that they're level. It's good. Okay, so we're going to put these into place. And again, we're going to follow the bulkheads. So let's sand it down. So that looks pretty good. Let's do this one. There we are. All right. So we got them all shaped and sanded down. So I think what I'm going to do now is we'll go ahead and we'll glue them. That's better. Okay, that's a little bit better. So we got them all lined up, pretty much with the bulkheads. And when they dry, if it needs any more filing down at that angle, then we'll do that. So let's go ahead and we're going to do the port side now. Okay, so let's start to glue these in. There. So now we got the port side done. And again, we'll wait for it to dry because we're going to have to file it down a little bit more if it needs it. But you can see it looks pretty good. I think it looks cool. Okay, so now that is finished. I think what we got to do now is we got to put a strip in the center. So we're going to put our first plank down. Put it. So we're going to take the plank and we got to put it just about like that because we got to cut it on either end. Alright, so now we're going to go down and we're going to secure the plank. There. We got our first official strip. So now we're going to glue the next level down and we're going to put another one on. Look at that. How cool is that, man? Alright, now we got to do the other side. But before we put the planking on, I think we need to do the... there's a piece that's going to go here that we're going to actually have to wet down and use the iron on. So it's going to go like that. See how we're going to have to kind of curve it this way? So I'm going to mark it with the pencil just to show how it's going to kind of have to go this way. So what I'm going to do is we got to soak this in water. So we're going to put that in water. And then next thing I'm going to do is we're going to plug in our iron. Here we are. So we got the two strips on the other side now. So right about here. So we're going to curve it like this. We're going to heat it. Let's see how this is doing. Yeah, that's starting to look really good. Geez, that might be a little bit perfect, but we got to go just a little more on the angle. Here we are. Check that out, man. Okay, so that's all set. Now I think we need to do the strips above it. And those strips are going to go right up to the, right up to the bulwarks at the bottom. So let's get another strip or another plank. So this is going to go like this. All right, now we got to put a piece underneath. And it's going to go, let's see. So I want it snug. Obviously I don't want it too tight, but I don't want any gaps. So this one is going to go here. So why don't we, I think we can go ahead and we can glue this section now. Okay, so we put the front piece in, and then we had to shape it. You can see when we sand it down, this isn't a gap, this is actually the light, the shadow, because it's sticking out a little bit, but it'll sand down nicely. So this section is all set. So what we got to do now is we have to put the ones in the back. Okay, so we got the last piece on. It's right about back there. And what I had to do is I had to put a little bit of a splinter just to close it in. What's funny about these models is I'm finding that although they're all cut from the same machine, the laser etch, each person, because it's done by hand, we're going to sand it down and create it. And I'm wondering if you put 100 of these all together, finished models, if there are any differences. But the ones of the instructions had fewer number of planks. I had one more plank that I had to put in and kind of sliver in just to fill in the area. So you can see where we're going to be able to look in. Pretty wild. And you can see the instructions. So let me figure how to put it. Okay, that's good. So you can see how they got them in the instructions. They've got a little bit of a larger gap on top of this section right over here. And I had to do a little bit more of filling in the gap on top than they did in the instructions. But going back, it's just about the same, all the locations. And I'm sure where we had sanded, we're going to paint all these at some point. So, to recap, this was section J, and with this section, so this is J in the instruction manual, and my section 10. We cut the angle and glued the pieces and the bulwarks and the main deck. Then we did the plank strips against the lower decks. We cut the ends and we put this section on. We had to use the iron to kind of bend it a little bit so it would fit the shape of the ship. And then we did the rest of the planking. So a lot of the planking Took up a lot of time, but she's ready. We're ready to move on. That was the completion of section J in the manual. So we're going to actually move on to section K in the next video. So my friends, I thank you so much for watching, and until the next video, I'll talk to you guys soon.